Thank you everyone for coming to the Toho Project panel. Again, we do apologise for the delay, but technology is fucking useless, so what can you do? Anyway, start off with the basics. Who here has heard of Toho Project?
At that.
Good, good.
Is it really that much of an improvement?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I thank you.
Right, yeah. Okay, well... yes, for those who haven't heard of the Toho Project, welcome to the Toho panel. Very simple, very straightforward, just give you a look into the craze that is the Toho Project. So, if you... press space.
Yes.
Okay then, what is Toho Project? Well, in short, it's pretty much a video game series about a bunch of little girls who shoot lasers at each other. Yeah.
That is pretty much the gist of it.
And other than that, what's really made it super popular is it's got a gigantic fandom in Japan. I mean...
It is the biggest fan base recorded.
Yeah, it beats out Vocaloid, so...
Anyway.
Yeah, so where did the origins of Toho begin? Well, 1997, there was a group called Amusement Makers who made a game for the NEC PC98 games series of computers, sorry. That game was called Highly Responsive to Prayers, which is the first game in the Toho series.
I've never heard anybody cheer.
Well, it's a good game, so... Anyway, yes, that man's name was Zool. Just kidding. We'll get to that in a minute, yeah, his name is Zool. He is the single designer, programmer, composer, scriptwriter, god of the Toho Project.
What was that at the back?
Yeah, he makes all the games by himself, no help whatsoever. He's known for quite a few things. One is making Toho. Another is his other beer. He also does a lot of hacks too. I don't have a picture of that unfortunately. Just caps really. Okay. Yeah, beer again. That's his wife, by the way.
Yeah, he got... What are you waving for? You're not his wife.
Excellent. Yeah, well, just to give you an idea of what it's like, this is Comic Kit in Japan, courtesy of my friend Loco. These were your pictures, weren't they?
Yeah.
That queue is the queue for Toho.
The back queue for Toho.
The back queue for Toho, sorry, the back queue for Toho.
I was about a quarter through the queue when I was
yeah, and what was it? The building in the middle, it's just pure Toho?
Last year.
Big building in the middle?
that was buying the new Toho game.
Yeah, that's just
He goes
the
all the
game,
way
so...
into the distance, and then comes back past the camera and then goes about as far forwards again. And
There you go.
right at the back, he's got the last
That's
thing.
how big.
So-
And yet it's so niche in the UK, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it personally. Yeah, and well, Toho's got a massive fandom. It's branched out from just a series of video games to a series of other video games like Toho Mario, Toho Mania, and even Toho Toho.
No, seriously, it's gone to the point where there is pretty much a rule on the internet that says if it exists, there is a Toho crossover on it.
Pretty much. And speaking of crossing, there is cosplay.
Hey!
Cosplay. Cosplay. And of course there is porn of Toho. And enormous mountains of porn.
Don't make me quote the damn
And
video.
even, seriously, it's like every 6 seconds a new Dushin is spawned into existence. It's that ridiculous.
You're not quoting that video word for word.
Anyway, this is, it doesn't look like much, but this is the Toho Reta site, is it?
It's the dedicated Toho.
Basically, Toho has its own convention in Japan, just Toho. It tries to ignore the fact that the majority of these are males.
Well, Toho's the majority of all women, so...
Memes! Memes, okay.
Who's got the t-shirt?
Yeah, Toho has lots of memes. One of them is, like, if you would, because I can't say Japanese for shit.
You good internet.
Someone's got a t-shirt that walking around the convention.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think it might be a gopher.
Basically, these little creepy head things. It started out as a little was it ACSII on 2chan?
Yeah.
And it kind of blew up from there. And well, yeah, it's tons of memes. Here's one of them. Blake, if you would like to explain this one.
Basically, if anything goes wrong or anything happens in a Toho game, normally the list of options will probably sometimes include it was magic, it was Erin's new shady drug, it was Yukari fooling around again because Yukari is a troll, deal with it, or it's a Moria Shrine conspiracy based on the fact that the Moria group have caused successive incidents in a row, to which we then had the response that templates like that are forbidden. More people! Go, 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 go!
Excellent. Right. Remember this for later, by the way. For later.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking more about the memes later. Let's actually get to what Toho is. A series of games about little girls who shoot lasers at each other. Right. Okay. Now I believe this would be the cue for a video I've got. So if you would,
Like, just sing for a second or something.
There was no way I am singing in front of this lot. No.
Do a dance!
Kira kira diamondo. That is all you got, I guess it. I do the whole dance, but I would need the music for that one.
And he knows the dance.
Bagajanayo. Oh, you're putting that one on. Oh, actually, bearing in mind that Clemson did ask earlier how many of you knew Toho, how many of you actually played Toho? Wow, that's a hell of a lot of you. There you have it back.
enjoy your singing videos.
No.
Right, anyway, okay, I'm an idiot. I don't have a video for this part yet. Instead, this is your cue to do a little demo run.
You.
Oh, we're having problems here. It's just. Cut the feed.
That's because it was
Sally, cut the camera.
No!
Just
Record this! We're journalists, damn it!
Yeah, basically, this is Toho, basically.
That's the hardest boss of them all.
Yeah.
Basically, that guy standing in a safe spot, he will not be hit by any
Basically, this is the layout for the 7th game.
Zakia, perfect timing. Go sit down.
But they pretty much all look like this. It's that little red thing, the dot in the middle, that's your character. Everything else, that touches you, you die. No exaggeration. Yeah, essentially they're a Japanese series of top-down shooters, better known as Danmaku or to some of us Bullet Hell.
Which lives up to today.
It really does, which you will see soon enough.
It's the only type of game that actually physically like damages the player, as Sean can vouch for.
Pretty much, yeah. It's no exaggeration. That little dot is your hitbox. One hit from any of those, the smallest, you're dead. Simple as. On the side is the player. The stars represent your lives. The bombs are essentially special attacks, or in Toho, as they're known, spell cards. These are little nice little animation abilities which, for the player, they protect you. For the enemies, they bring all this shit out to you. Yeah, good fun.
When you, the player, activates the bomb, it wipes most of the bullets from the screen, depending on which game you're playing. Mouse in the Faith, Subterranean.
It's basically just 2 seconds of don't die.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of not dying, I believe it's your time to give us a demonstration, Blake.
Yes. Joy.
Please give him a hard one. Give him an unbelievable.
I decided to be nice and let him choose the game.
Please choose Subterranean Army. Looks nice. The one Subterranean Army. The hardest one.
While he's setting that up, does anyone have any questions so far? Anything at all?
What is a Toho?
Why is it Toho?
What is
I
Toho?
believe it translates to Eastern Project.
Yes.
Because Seho is Western. Seho is Western.
Yes. And that's pretty much it. As for what the characters' background, we'll get to that later.
Other question.
Other question over there by the
Seems like the
region.
easiest.
Oh, right, sorry. I'll just take this opportunity to say Toho has no official anime. It's one of the things that make it a bit unique. It has no official merchandise, no official anime, no official... Wait, does have an official manga, doesn't it?
Yes, it has several official
My mistake,
manuals
I
and a
failed.
novel. There are 2 novels
And
at
novel.
least.
And tons of art books.
I've got a question. Why does that ghost look so fucking swag?
Main character status. Main character status. She gets to look swag. I don't know, ask her, she's over there.
What? Let me try that again.
We're up, Blake, we want to see you struggle. So we're just going to give us a little demo run for a couple of stages, what the actual gameplay of Toho is like.
No, I am not doing
Go Marissa, she's good.
Actually, you know what? Screw you. Who says Ben?
Put your hand up, about Rainbow.
Who says?
Who says Marissa?
I saw it.
What's your role?
I've gone for the opposite carriage.
What the fuck?
Normal.
Well, basically, you pick up the blue boxes are points, which, as it says, a score. The red boxes are power. The more you get of those, the stronger your attacks get, the faster you can kill enemies. If you go to the top, there's a line where all the boxes that have been dropped are drawn to you automatically. Well, of course, that's dangerous because everything comes from the fucking top. And this is just the general stage one. These are enemy players, and this is the mid boss. There's the health bar above, and that's the character. This one in particular is a little girl in a bucket. It's not actually as hard as it looks to me. It's still pretty fucking hard if you ask Good question. What are the green stars? Actually, it's awesome. Like, what are the green stars for? It's something more perpetrated watch itself, I believe. Don't quote me on it.
Each game has a unique scoring system.
That's what I should point out. I should point out I haven't played this game in years because this one in particular is a fucking piss take. And this is the stage 1 end boss approaching. This is generally how it goes. You go through a couple of waves, you fight a mid boss, a couple more waves, and then an end boss at the stage. And they, of course, they progressively get harder.
The art's amazing, by the way.
Yeah, the art's
This
fucking
art
accelerating,
gets
isn't it?
better, especially with 10 desires.
Really, 10 desires.
His art is special because it's shit.
Nico has 2 last knots.
It's special because no one wants their art to look like that. Oh yeah, so that's something to do. On the side where it says grey, basically, the little guy in the middle of the house, as I said, is your hitbox. When you get an enemy bullet really close, it goes with the grey. And I believe the greys need to act as a multiplier of 1.
Yes.
And oh yeah, the reason it's good to get more points is because one, you can test yourself how good you are, and more importantly, when you reach certain criteria for points, you get lives. And lives are very, very important in Toho. Like seriously, fucking important. Hey, you were supposed to die. Yeah, you love this game, come show him how it's done.
Oh, fuck, I hate stage 2.
You get a new party, thank you.
Wonderful.
Show him your favourite game.
Next
Watch the screw up. Oh crap, there's no joypad!
Show the controls, be nice.
Go on.
Watch as I fail because I can't play keyboard.
Focus, shot, ball.
Any excuse.
Just to let you know, for anyone interested, we will be doing gameplay tests of this towards the end. For anyone wants to test their luck.
I'm serious.
In my defense, I play by joypad.
In a way, they are basically kind of like football games. It's just dodge and hope you're hitting something. Jeff, show off the bomb if you need to. They'll receive these guys to get through backstage for it, and that's where we'll put it back to the presentation.
Hit the spell, hit the spell.
The idea is you focus on your character to dodge the pad. Not die, of course.
Where's the bomb button?
L, X, X!
That's something that protects you. It's a bit different in each game, and this one for regular carry.
I can't play by keyboard, I play by joypads. That's impossible. You should have fucking told me.
Everyone give me a round of applause.
Yeah, also to point out, if you just this part out here, if you can't see where the boss is on the top of the screen, this actually helps you tell you where about the enemy is.
Yeah,
So
the idea is with the more elaborate patterns from the bosses is you're not meant to focus on them, you're meant to look at your own character, try to dodge that shit, and pray you're still hitting something when it's over.
there we go.
And that in a nutshell is what the Toho games are. So, let's talk about some
I
of
took you right back, here you go.
So now we'll talk a little about what some of the games are, well, the official games that is.
Why do they keep getting stuck on the porn part? There we go.
Okay, first of all, we've got the PC 98 era games. Just out of curiosity, for those who have played Toho, who has played these original games before?
No one.
Yes.
Hooray!
Good on you, they're really good games, very underappreciated. Yes, these are the old school games. They only run on the PC 98 computers, but there is an emulator that you can use to play them on Windows. The reason saying that, and I don't endorse piracy, is because if you try to buy these days, they're stupidly rare. They
A
cost
million yen?
Yeah, I saw, I think it was Story Beast and Wonderland, the second game, on eBay last year. About 600 quid, something like that. What? Yeah, rare games. Right, but yeah, these are the 5 games. The first game was, what kind of style was it? It wasn't a top-down shooter, was it?
No, basically, remember ran around, you had to kick a ball to take out targets. That's what you had to do in that
And
game.
somehow it evolved into a top-down shooter
Because the bosses fired bullets at you at that game anyway.
Still calling bullshit. Now here's the main games.
Here we go.
The Windows.
What? Just quickly, guys.
Not so good Windows games.
For anyone who can turn their attention to that screen on there, if you can
Yeah,
see.
there's a bit.
It's just a little mini demonstration of the first game.
Yeah, unfortunately, most of you in the back.
Yeah, alright, so I'm going to play it
Go
anyway.
on YouTube and search Toho 1, you'll see it.
Yeah, these are the Windows era games, or the main games that is. It just goes around. Probably arguably the most popular in this is number 6, Embodiment of Scarlet Devil.
I like 7.
Well, for example, who actually got into the series through the 6th game?
Nope.
Oh, not that many. Okay. Right, and yeah, each game has its own unique gimmick. I don't know, any examples of a gimmick for a game?
Oh, for the gimmicks, right. The Cherry Blossoms gimmick was that at some point you would collect petals, and if you reach a certain amount, you would get a barrier basically around you that pretty much acts like a bomb but isn't a bomb. If you get hit, it clears the screen of bullets, but you don't die. So that's one of the gimmicks. UFO, well, I don't need to explain the gimmick for that because it's literally UFOs.
Yeah, you pick a few, fight little UFOs, you pick them up, they give you lives. Don't ask me how that works.
The reason why is because Sun apparently did it as some sort of tribute to Space Invaders because it was an anniversary at that point in time, so that's probably why.
And the new A boss was the extra boss is the tribute to Space Invaders.
Yeah.
The new A has like spell cards and move like that.
Yeah, each game has its own theme, introducing more characters. Like the latest game, 10 Desires, Toho 13, has a soul theme to it, where you pick up souls, and oh god, has a really annoying boss. But
Anyway, if you would move along.
the soccer games. These are the games in between. The notable ones here are Toho 7.5, 10.5, and Toho 12.3. These are unique because they're the only games in the series, official games that is, that are not actually designed by Zun himself. He worked with a group called Kasagari Frontier.
Yeah.
Frontier.
Yeah.
And what you can tell because the art's better if you look at the games.
Question.
Isn't 12.3 fighting game?
We did say that.
12.3, yes,
Yes, we did
it's
say
an
that. It's the
extension to
expansion to
10.5. Toho 9.5 and 12.5, double spoiler, are kind of like photography games in a way.
Based on
Very,
that
very
damn
thrilling and dangerous
dangerous.
I will show you a clip, but the mental scars.
I will
9.5 is said to be one of the hardest Toho games for specific reasons. The later stages are insane by anyone's standards.
Yeah, even Asian standards. Which is saying a lot.
Shoot the bullet, the first photo one, 9.5.
And well, I will show you a clip for the fighting games.
If we could. Wait, do your thing again.
It's not like...
Do dance!
No!
Yes!
There's so many dances I know, I can't do them all.
Right.
You know, why don't I invite Scowny down to dance for you? Would that be better?
What is it?
Scouty's magically disappeared!
Curses!
Right.
Is it up? Please tell me it's up. I think it is, have that back.
Just a quick clip.
I can do the whole thing.
Suika fights strong, by the way.
She's drunk.
He's a demon, that's what they do.
Basically what's happening here is that they're landing hits to build off the orbs of the partner to use their special attacks.
And they build spell cards that they can use at any time.
And for those who are well-established fighting game enthusiasts, you can probably guess what the red part are.
You are.
Now, if this was real players, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I know.
Finish him!
If that was real players, that would never happen.
Yeah, there are some insane combos that people do come up with some of the fighters to the point where some characters become very broken.
Pretty much, as with any Japanese fighting game.
Yeah.
Right, okay, now let's talk a little about the characters. To start off with, Toho has a lot of fucking characters.
Over 120 in
In
counting.
fact, I don't think this is even updated. I'm pretty sure there's even more on what is here.
Yeah, the 10 desired ones aren't in there.
So yeah, ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to spend the next 5 weeks talking about all the characters. I'm just going to talk about a couple of the crucial, more important,
I can name them
playable
all.
characters.
I can name them all.
If you would like to spend 30 seconds naming them all in a speed run, by all means.
No. not
Didn't
even.
think so. Okay, first off, we have Reimu Hakurei, the main character of the series. She's a Miko for the Hakurei Shrine Maiden, human, one of the few human characters in the series. She's kind of a bitch.
Well, a lot of people think she's a bitch based on some of the things she does. Oh, right, we got more people.
Now it's super awkward.
We have another little girl.
We have two
We
little
have
girls.
more little girls turning up. Still a little girl.
You know, bearing in mind there's a lot of people who ship Yomu and Racing, I can only imagine what they've been doing to make them so late.
Yeah, just to point something out quite quickly.
Recent plus Yomu equals Reimu.
For those who could actually see, the character is made up of 98% female characters. So when we're talking porn, you can probably see where I'm going with this.
Yuri,
There are a few, but
there are a few characters who we've not seen that are male, but there is only so far one human that has actually been shown.
One's been shown. What in the games that is. One has only appeared in.
Okay, let me change that. There is only one humanoid male we've seen so far, and that's
Oh right,
Inosuke.
yeah. There was only one human, but there was technically another male character in the game.
Genji and Unzan.
Alright, three then. But well, the point is, there's mostly females. Fuck all males. Right. Anyway, yeah, Reimu Hakurei. Main character of the series and the first playable character. She's been playable since the first game, still is today. Her job is, well, she has to maintain the Hakurei Shrine and the Hakurei border in Gensokyo. I forgot to mention that, silly me.
Yeah.
Gensokyo is the world of Toho, where like monsters, better known as yokai.
Everything exists in there basically, and basically what Reimu's job is, to put it in better terms, is to manage the Great Hakurei border, which is basically what's keeping Gensokyo split off from the real world, from the outside world. That's what they refer to it as.
And every game is basically where incidents happen and she has to get off her arse and go solve it. And she does this with extreme violence. As any person with common sense. Anyway.
Or lack of.
Yeah, talking about what means, right. She's known in the fandom for being extremely poor.
As in, she hardly gets any donations to her shrines because the humans don't like going to her shrine because it's normally full of yokai.
Yeah, it's like this thing where at the end of every game she kind of like makes friends with all these monsters.
And then in the manga she suddenly goes, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be exterminating this lot, right, that does it, stamp, and then she never changes anyway.
Yeah, she's kind of a bitch because she's really prejudiced, even against the monsters that have done nothing. She just likes to kill them. She's really racist. So she's kind of deserving. Well, I call it karma. Anywho, and yeah.
Hang on a minute. Remember, Hakurei, make is wacky wacky. Show your armpits.
There's also a strong belief that she was the pioneer for the armpit fetish, but don't quote me on it. Moving on.
To you!
To me. Right. Urasa Kirasame, the second main character of the series, she was introduced in the second game as an underling for the game's final boss. And I don't know how she became the second main character, she just kind of showed up after that.
Yeah, she's been in every game since, basically.
And somehow, between the transition from the old games to the new games, she went from red hair to blonde hair, naturally. Right, she's a magician, known as the Ordinary Magician, though she's far from ordinary, who takes things, or sorry, she
Steals.
borrows things.
She
She doesn't steal,
steals.
she borrows, but never gives back.
Exactly, she steals.
And it's also worth quickly noting she's got probably the largest shipping in the entire series. She is kind of a female pimp.
We don't know how.
Another thing is, like, apart from being a magician and thief, she also fires a beam of love, known as the Master Spark.
But this also ties into another thing of the fact that she borrows/steals, because she also steals people's spell cards. That is one of them.
Some might argue that.
Sure.
As for how it's done, well, instructions, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was actually written by Zun himself on how to actually.
For those who can't see properly, and I do apologise, how to fire a laser, you concentrate your mind, you mutter the blah blah Latin bullshit, aim at someone you don't like, and unleash your annihilation of love. And that generates a gigantic laser. Yeah. Totally doesn't remind me of Alright, yeah. On to another character. Sanae Kochiya. She is the second Miko introduced in the 10th game. She's a living goddess, basically, because she's descended from one of the old characters in the series. Sawako Mora, is it?
Yes.
And yet they exist at the same time. Very strange. Very strange. Anyway, yeah, she's considered the rival of Reimu because she's the only other Miko and she's got bigger boobs.
Which also has become another fandom thing where Reimu hates Sana because she has.
Yeah, for those who are familiar with Toho, come on, Reimu or Sanae? Reimu? Wait, Sanae?
Hang on a sec, who said neither? Yay!
Alright, moving on. Yeah, just one more thing I decided to throw in. In the fandom, it's quite well known that she's the only character, uniquely, who's actually not from Gensokyo. She's from the human world that we better know as Earth.
Yes. Yeah. Another group of people who are also like that is anyone who lives in the Scarlet Devil Mansion came from outside of Gensokyo, and obviously her goddesses. Pretty much it.
Yeah, and because of that, she gets a lot of fandom-wise drawings and pairings as being a bit of a hikimori, schoolgirl, the kind of shit you would expect Japanese otaku to draw. Oh yeah, and just lastly, this is a pretty small one. There's this little meme about her being a good girl, but personally I think she's just a bimbo with big tits. Right.
To the person who came in later, Yomu.
Yeah, the little girl at the back. Yamu, I'm gonna say Yamu, fuck you.
Yomu Compact.
Yamu Kompaku. She's the half phantom, half human. Don't ask me how that works, by the way. Gardener, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gardener
For the Netherworld's Garden, which has a very hard to pronounce name. We'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
we'll leave it at that. You know,
Hakagoku?
spoilers.
I think
Spoilers.
Oh, sure.
If you want to know, you can play the game. Beat man. Yeah, she's the gardener. She's introduced in the 7th game, Perfect Cherry Blossom, and she joined as a playable character from Imperishable Night, wasn't it, almost?
Yes.
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 And, moving on. Yeah, a little bit of nice fan art of her, and just want to point out the little spirit thing that floats around is in the fandom. I don't know if it's canon or not. It's called Mion.
Mion, and John hasn't actually confirmed if it's called Mion or not.
Isn't it a part of her?
Yes, it is
It's
a part
her
of
spirit
her.
art.
Yeah.
Do try to ignore the fact it looks like a giant sperm.
Can I
I did it till now.
Moving on. Yeah, and basically, by the way, bonus points for anyone who gets the reference.
Metal slug.
Hey, hold on, we'll give you some round of applause.
Yeah, this is just a couple of the playable characters. There are more that I did want to talk about, but I didn't want to drag it out too much. Like, yes.
Yeah,
like,
so I heard
somebody.
somebody say Sakia. Sakia is one of the main playables that then hasn't been seen pretty much since.
Yeah, there's a little thing in the fandom where it's basically like who really earns their spot in the playable main characters. Sakia is considered one of them. whatever. And yeah, right. moving on.
Right.
Yes, about this. There's just one more character I want to talk about.
This idiot.
This is Cerno, otherwise known as Cherno. I say Cerno.
Otherwise known as Backer or Nine Ball or.
I'm not a weeaboo, so. Anyway, she's a nice fairy who lives in the what lake?
The Misty Lake outside
The
Garden
Misty
Mansion.
Lake. Introduced in the 6th game as the second stage boss. She's basically the butt monkey of the series.
We are not joking, Elvis.
Yeah,
Go on.
seriously. She's gained a ton of popularity for all the stupid shit she pulls. So I will. Another such little stupid meme is that she considers herself the strongest.
She does actually say this in actual canon dialogue, so.
And gameplay and fandom wise suggests otherwise. Right.
Yes. Moving on.
And again.
She beat Marissa.
Yeah, this is based on.
We'll get to that in a second.
But the main one she's known for is the Nine Ball. How this started was basically this is a cover manual for
Flower View.
Phantasmagoria Flower View, which was Toho
9.
Toho 9. Thank you. Well, essentially, yeah, this is under this typical layout instructions, and the 9, which is Cerno, translates to moron. I didn't put that down for a joke. I did perfect translation. Right, and so that's basically how she's become associated. So pretty much anything you see in terms of Cerno will always have a reference to 9 Ball. So for those who had never heard of Toho, no, she's not a GTA player.
Unfortunately, this also covers the fact that in the 6th game, if you play on easy, obviously, you know, it's easy. But with Cherno, first card, there is literally the biggest safe spot, which is right in front of her. You stand there.
Basically, you go there and you just don't die, which is really bad for a Toho game.
So yeah, hence that pretty much got tied in with it.
But her popularity has, as an idiot, has allowed her to grow in the fandom. I mean, and in the canon as well. She reappeared a few times.
She reappeared in a few times, and then she got her own game,
which was Toho 12.8 Fairy Wars, where she's the main character doing what she does best:
freezing stuff,
being an idiot.
Yes, that too.
Okay, now you can probably guess what this means. Yes, we're going to talk a little about the music. Well, we're going to listen to a bit of the music.
Wait. No. Yeah.
Okay, basically, just before we actually get on to a few of the tracks, the Toho music is more than anything else in the fandom. It's the music that is known.
Yeah. Even those. Sorry, go ahead. You first.
Yes. I mean, how many of you like Toho music? There we go.
Everyone.
Let's be honest, the music is amazing. It really is.
Even those who don't like the series, if they hear the music, they're like, oh, I like that music.
There are countless remixes of even the most obscure themes in the series. Countless. You hit YouTube or even Nico.
Yeah. The Comic Cat report also speaks for itself because it obviously has the list of all the Dojin circles for each fan series. Toho will always be.
It's that ridiculous. There are entire bands and groups dedicated just to Toho music.
We can't count them.
No, we really
can't.
And new ones, new albums, new bands show up every Comic Cat. It just grows and grows.
Every group, every sort of other Dojin.
Some might argue it has more remixes and arranges than Vocaloid. Just saying. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to show you 2 character songs, 3 different remixes of each, with starting with the original, of course.
Okay.
Now you're thinking again. Oh right, sorry. The characters we're going to show are for the character themes for the characters Raisin and Dongi Inaba, her song Invisible Moon,
yes.
and Satori Kameji.
Oh.
And her theme, Third Eye Satori Maiden, which is a really good song. This was done on the voting, the Toho group, so don't bleach me.
Yeah, we actually did sort of put on a poll and we had quite a few votes, but unfortunately most of them were Satori based, which was, Satori's theme most of the time has been known as quite one of Zun's evilest compositions, which is quite understandable, bearing in mind that she's hated by most of the yokai because of her third eye ability, which means she can basically read the minds of pretty much everyone, so she knows their thoughts. Of course, Satori is therefore normally ignored and left alone because nobody likes her for it, so...
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of sad
We're
actually.
going to start with Raisin first.
Okay.
What's that playing?
Should be playing
Oh,
something.
wait, now.
You going that way? Whoosh, drop it.
Oh!
Did that just shut down on its own?
No, I closed it.
Are you going to dance?
Right.
No. I know one as well. I'm doing drinks all again. Yeah, what?
Sorry for those who like the song, but yeah, I'm not going to show you full tracks, we don't have time for that.
Unfortunately not.
Now we're going to show you a couple of remixes. These are mostly, one is rock, one is keyboard, another is a bit of electronic. I'll just do it at random. Oh, I double stuff again, silly mate.
Silly.
Silly magician.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God.
What crap have you got on this laptop, boy?
It's not my laptop, it's Puppy's.
Bobby, what crap have you got on this laptop?
It's something that came with it, that one. I hate it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible.
What's going on here?
That would be me.
That's
Oh.
true.
My tail.
See, at least I can control my tail.
Look at I strangled myself up.
I wouldn't really class it as controlling it then. Oh, I think I know this one. Is this with the actual vocals in it as well?
Sorry, not.
Who and all?
Back in 30 seconds.
Someone obviously was enjoying.
Robin! I know you're really getting into the panel, but.
Oh, right, I know where one is now.
This one was just a little keyboard remix.
Most times when you hear piano keyboard arranges, they will normally stick as true to the actual music as possible.
I mean, you do get some really ridiculous arrangements out there that sound nothing like the original that they claim to make.
Most chant stuff. One more. I'll see everyone you've got.
Very Tekken.
Right, yeah, so one more character, and he is coming up to, well, it's 5 past 4.
It's 5 past 4 now.
Those who want to see the mask, we're almost finished.
This one's Satori's. Piano, I take it.
Yeah, this is the piano one. Again, no particular order, just as I click on.
Are we doing a softer range or a harder range?
I believe it's harder range along with.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I wasn't sure if you were still recording or not, that's why.
We're still recording.
We're always recording.
Just the one more.
And then we can pretty much wrap up. Somewhat. This is probably one of the more popular groups.
I had a feeling some people were attending to watch. No. It is quite a popular song. Not
Thank you. Right, let's finish this up.
Okay, just to finish off, I know some of you guys might want to go watch The Mask. Just two quick clips to show you. One is an example of, again, the music, but more the meme music from, well, for those who know Toho, you probably know a little group called Iosis.
Anyone who knows of IOSYS, well, Pants, please. IOSYS the group. Yeah.
So,
like I said.
interesting songs. And the other one I want to show afterwards is a little clip from, even though Toho has no official anime, there are some really good fan work out there. One in particular called Memories of Phantasm.
Yeah. Yes. Well, stupid.
Isn't it a summer day?
Oh, that one is done by my cousin. That's a completely different group. I did hear that one.
Yeah, I know. I thought that one was the best one.
Oh.
Me personally did not prefer that. Ignore the error. That was. I don't know why that error is there.